Okay, so Megovanen everyone, and welcome to a package opening video. This is from a very long time friend. I keep saying for people like Todd and people that I've known for this, uh, long amount of time. I keep saying like a decade, but honestly, it's now over a decade at this point. Um, so I'll just stick to. I'll say little over a decade now at this point. Pretty much when I first started making videos back in 2012. But my dear friend, Todd Walnuts, he strikes again. He has sent me something. He contacted me, and I have a message on the phone, but I don't believe there's a note that's going to be in here. But he contacted me on the WhatsApp and let me know that he has some things that are on the way, and this is one of them. And there'll be another one coming tomorrow, and something else in about 2-3 weeks or so, like minimum 2 weeks. And I want to thank him so much for this. Just out of the kindness of his heart, he just did it. And something else of note that all of you people need to know is he is one of those generous, very generous people who, there's a handful of them, but he is one of them who I'll say gave me shout outs in the past. This is before when I only had like 300 or 400 subscribers. And, from the constant shout outs, I don't want to say constant, not like, these people haven't shouted me out every single day, every week, but just every so often, just to kind of give my channel a push. When I needed to get to the next landmark, like every 100 subscribers kind of thing. But he's one of those big time people who's responsible for helping my channel grow, making my channel grow. I consider that's the reason why. It's because of people like him who made it grow due to his influence of just giving me a shout out and stuff. I think he makes excellent content. He has 2 channels. One is a movie one, which is the one where we started together, and he started off as a commenter on his Toddy Walnuts channel, and then at the time I had my Falagar channel, and he didn't start off making content for it, but now he does, and he has, let's say, at least 10k subscribers. Really, he should have more. He had more, let me say, but YouTube is doing a strange thing where basically they're canceling subscriptions. I don't know all the details, but there's just something goofy going on with YouTube, so that's what's happening. But canceling subscribers. But please head on over to Toddy Walnuts channel. That's his movie channel, and I'm going to put a link down below. But also he has a gaming channel which is called Surviving the Horror, where he doesn't make pre-recorded let's play videos. Where he doesn't make let's play videos, but they're more of like live stream videos that are in the tradition of being let's play videos in live stream form. Something I used to have to do before I was able to record, when I can only do it from my Xbox 360 console before my PC was strong enough to do it. Okay, even though I started off as a PC gamer back in the 80s, I want to make that clear. I didn't start off with console. I started off PC, then moved to console, and then back to PC. But both are good. Okay, and but I think his gaming channel, much like his movie channel, deserves a lot more love. He only has like a little over 300 subscribers, but really he needs to have at least 3-4 times that. It should match his movie channel. I feel like all the people on his movie channel, on his Toddy Walnuts channel, so somehow if you're a Toddy Walnuts fan and you are checking this out, please, for the love of God, head on over to Surviving the Horrors channel and subscribe to him there. Support him on both sides, on both channels, because he truly deserves it. And he's a game lover as well. He loves games. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and see what is in it. So, I have to make sure that none of the address or anything is showing up. So, I want to thank you big time, my old friend, and from the bottom of my heart, sir, for just doing this. Not only this one, but then for the future stuff. So you know me. Eventually, I have to get you back. I'm a little bit struggling right now, but there's just something inside of me. You remember how it was in the old days, old friend, when I was able to consistently, we were able to hold contests and gift each other things, and not just you and I, but the community of people. We were able to gift things. We were like a medium-sized handful of people that were able to give things to each other and hold contests and stuff. And those kind of days for me are numbered now. But since really it's only small, we're kind of like a dying breed, I guess. People that, like the old school people that we knew that do this kind of thing, we don't know so much anymore, or they stopped. But we just, continued, to linger. But eventually I will. Now, I absolutely need to get you back for this. I was thinking on it, and I do have something in mind. It is kind of out of my price range right now, I'll say, but I feel like I want to try to see what I can do about that. But say if I don't make it in time to get this specific thing, there's sort of a time limit in there. Because also you can get your name in the credits, I'll say that. I'm not talking about the Wayward Realms, not that. Okay, but it's something movie related, let's say. More like documentary related. But anyways, we can talk more about that later. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this. And oh my God, look, this is like a book. Okay. Wow, okay. This is fantastic. Could this be... Is this the writers? The Boy of the Rohirrim. Okay, Lord of the Rings, official visual companion. This, okay, is the War of Rohirrim, the Japanese anime that came out, I want to say a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago in the theater. I did see it. I'll say this, the film overall is okay. I'm gonna say it's decent. It is okay. It's a good film, and I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, just as Toddy Walnuts is. But that particular film, the issue with that, and you know me, I'm always truthful and honest about things that I have to say. When I watched it, the frame rate of this is animated, not a game, but the frame rate of that film was off. And you can go ahead and watch this film yourself. It seemed like it was like 25-30 frames per second. So when there's fast movement on the screen, it's very jarring. I cannot find the words to describe what I mean, but when you see it, it moves like in this sort of shuddery, laggy kind of frame rate. You have to see it to truly understand what I'm talking about. And the story, although not as grandiose as the overall scope of original Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Peter Jackson stuff, J.R.R. Tolkien, and the Hobbit films, the Hobbit book, where there's something world-ending, something apocalyptic that can happen, with the ring, the One Ring, and with the Hobbit, how he came across that ring, and the whole thing with Gollum, so there's that epic story. This one is more focused on, the horsemen of the, what was is it called Edoras, right? I think where the Rohirrim land. I can't remember now the name, but Rohan. It's called Rohan, right? And the way I try to remember these things, I remember lines from from films, and that's how I remember what certain things are called. What news from the mark? And then when the horse lords all come, and then Carl Urban, who is and I forgot his name, but he gets off his horse. He's the cousin of Eowyn, not Arwen, but Eowyn, right? Played by Miranda Otto, right? And what would a man, an elf, and a dwarf, and what business would a man, an elf, and a dwarf have in the Riddermark? You tell me your name, horse rider, and I'll tell you mine, something like that. You tell me your name, horse rider, and I'll tell you mine. I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher off the ground. You would be dead before your sword fell. It's Legolas. Dilotadanos, Legolas. Don't answer. Telling him basically to calm down, relax, that kind of thing. So that's how I know, the mark, the Riddermark, right? Anyway, sorry for the little tangent there. But huge thank you for this, Todd. And I wanted to say the story is more of just a conflict between two families. Let's say that. And it's her and is he even on the? I think his name is like Wolf, something like. It might even be this gentleman right over here. Her and Wolf. They've been friends since childhood, and in fact, when they were playing together, when playing sword fighting when they were young, she accidentally scarred him right in the eye. It didn't blind him, but kind of think Anakin Skywalker, that a similar kind of scar like that. And then with this guy, I think he is voiced by Brian Cox, the actor Brian Cox. You might know him, of course, he was Agamemnon in Troy. If you've seen Trick or Treat, he was in there as well. And if you've seen Manhunter, I believe he played Hannibal Lecter, before Anthony Hopkins played him. He was that. But a number of great things that he's been in. Stryker, in X2, X-Men United, he's a veteran actor and a fine actor he is, Brian Cox. But when him and the father of the other guy got into a duel, a one-on-one match, he accidentally struck him and killed him, and that's how this war began. So it's a basic kind of, like revenge plot. Again, it's something that affects only in the land of Rohan. But that's the thing. The thing that if you're going to have to say a negative about it, you could say, sure, the story isn't as grandiose, but which is a lot of people's problem with the film. But I thought that's fine for something like that. It's good to see a story that's not like a simple story that's in the realm of Middle Earth, takes place in that world, but really no direct connection to Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, about the One Ring and the coming across of the ring. So that's kind of nice to see that. To me, the thing that brought it down was that frame rate. Okay. Plus, yeah, it was a little jarring seeing the background animation, the backdrop and everything, gorgeously animated, very highly detailed. The characters in here, they were like typical anime. So here, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. I crack it a little. With my books, I don't like to crack it all the way. I know people like to do that, but I keep it like this. This literally is the animation for the backdrop, right? But the anime characters, this is not a good representation. It actually looks nicer in this book than what it was in the actual film. And I would still purchase this one just to have it to my collection. But it has a jarring look, and you can, in a way, look at it as an art style that the actual anime characters look slightly superimposed when placed in front within the beautifully fine detailed backdrop of the animation. And that's the only other thing, but that can be looked upon as like a art style. But if that frame rate was up to par, like normal frame rate for a normal movie, I don't know how they messed that up. Then I would say it's quite good. I would say it's at least a good film. But as it is, I think the film is still okay. But it is just that frame rate. Look at this here. Okay, so we have a picture part of the tusk of the elephant smashing, the gate. Riders of the mark, brothers of Rohan, arise. Arise now, we will paint the dawn red and the blood of our foes. And how did they put it? Red, and a red sky rises, or something like that, right? I'm gonna try to find just a bit more pictures. Here's the elephant, alufant. It's called alufant, right? Not elephant, but it's called an alufant. Is that with an A? I believe an elephant, very similar to an elephant, right? And this is the thing that Legolas took out at the end of Return of the King, if you guys recall. Legolas, and he points, and then Legolas does his thing, how he goes from the trunk up the tusk, and he kills all of those wicked men, with the painted faces and stuff, almost tribal looking, kills them all, and then slides down the trunk, or shoots the elephant right on the top of the head, and slides down the trunk, doesn't flip off, but he, fancily kind of comes off and lands on his feet, pretty much close proximity to Gimli, and Gimli, that still only counts as one, right, because we had that competition, right. But huge thank you, my good friend, my dear brother in arms, the War of Rohan. This is the official visual companion. Please, again, subscribe to my dear friend Todd Walnuts. I will get you back for this. You are far too kind. Far too kind. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and end it. Much love to you, my brother, and farewell.